Hey guys, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be remaking the original Sonic I did because I have made some improvements on the way. So head to the avatar menu, head down to reset, click on clear appearance and then confirm. With that being said, go to body, then to the actual body section and search for boy. Now once you select on the boy, what you want to do is go to the head section and search for head L, which is short for headless, and get this one here. Now we're looking good. We want to import or search for the bare body or torso. So now we've done that, we're going to start with the importing of a few bits, and we want to import the yin yang for the eyes, and then next we're going to import Sonic's hair, and then on the next part we're going to get the clothing. So I've gone with the original cartoon, so the Sonic pants is this one here, and obviously the Sonic top will be this number just here. Now that's all the importing done that we need to do. We can now go to the tuning menu and search for these bits. And by that I mean tune them, not search them. So as you can see on screen, we're just going to rejig this to make it fit in the Sonic hair, as it were, quite nicely, before we, for some reason, do it the wrong way around. I should have done the Sonic's hair first, but that's not a problem. I'm happy with that. We're going to do the hair now. So bring it down, shrink it a bit, and hopefully we can get ourselves to make it about right. There's not much to do on there. I've just realised actually that we didn't paint the yin yang to be white, so hide the texture, set it to white, and you're laughing. Now, the first part we're going to search for is good old Pop Cap, or just search for Pop and it'll be at the bottom of the list just there. Now this is going to become our bottom chin for the face, and it actually does pretty well for doing so because it has the correct shape and it's quite easy to, rescale and make it fit as you'd expect. Now I'm sure you've seen some other videos of mine which have got this being used for the lower half of the face because it just works really well, especially when you start adding on the different mouth and the nose that we're going to get to after. Now we've done that, changed the colour to be as skin coloured as possible, and then we're going to search for some chicken. That's right, we're going to use this drum bit of chicken or drumstick to put as a nose. Now I'm sure some of you have seen this being done before. I used to use a button, or I think it was actually called a nose. It was like a red nose, and I set it to black, and I was quite happy with that. But then I realised the little trick with this one, as it was suggested by a few commenters, which I'm really appreciative of, is this actually looks like Sonic's nose, which is absolutely fantastic. So we've now got our Sonic nose on there, and we're going to go and start with the eyes. So like I have done on a few of my other videos, we're going to search for sphere, and then retune this to become one of the eyes. So with this, might take a little bit of tuning, but the end result is pretty cool. I mean, you could just use a texture and be done with it, but I don't feel like it has the glisten or the overall nicety of a properly made eye, as it were. So not a flat image, but a properly 3D eye on the game. So with that being said, we're going to just continue to make the other eyes. So search for another sphere. You've got these other spheres you can use, not a problem. But once again, just tune them to fit, but on the other side of the face. Likewise, you can just do as I do on screen. You can slow down the playback and obviously mute me to shut me up, and then you can use this as a pretty good guide. So now we've got the eyes in place, we're going to now search for a button. And if you search for that, you'll see there's two I favorited, and these are what we're going to use to become the colour around the eye. Now, with Sonic, I might have done the wrong shade of green. That's my bad if I have. You can quite easily adjust that yourself if you're following along, or if not, you can just say, yeah, that's the wrong shade of green. I think it's meant to be quite dark, and I've done it quite light, so that's my bad. But with that being said, as you can see, it's slowly going into place, and you can see the kind of result I'm trying to go for. It does require a bit of tweaking, so I have to tweak the actual sphere, which is the black part of the eye as well. But once we've got it in place, I'm quite happy with. We're going to then search for a button once again, which will give us the other eye. So we're going to go with this blue one this time, once I decide that one. There we go. And then we're going to go back to tuning it, and we should be good to go once I set the colour, hide the texture, all the good stuff, and then start manipulating the item to make it sit just in front of that other sphere to give us another green circle around the eye. And once again, I will very likely need to adjust the black part, or the sphere that we've made black to become the pupil of the eye, to make it fit a bit better. And I think I do go back to this later on as well in the video to retweak the eyes ever so slightly because it doesn't quite sit as I expect, but I'm happy with that for now. And the final piece that I do for the eyes, if you search for crying, this will give you that white kind of dots in either of the eyes. If you know what I'm on about, then fantastic. If you don't, you'll see very shortly how this looks after it's been applied. And you know what? It's one of the things that I'm really pleased with the eyes, because it really brings them to life a little bit. Obviously, you just need to try and make them a bit longer and make sure they sit in the face and not in front of it. And eventually, you'll get it there, and it looks pretty good, if I say so myself. And as I mentioned, I'm just trying to retweak the colour at this point, because I realised it might need to be a bit darker, or it's possibly the wrong shade. So I've now done that, and we're going to now start to do with the smile. I'm going to do what I always do and search for smile, which you get this one just here. And then we're going to just slightly tweak it to make it a little smile that sits on the side of his face. It'll be his left hand face or the right hand side to us, how we're viewing him. And it'll be like a little smirk that's just there, as I'm yet to find a better way of making a smile that looks pretty good. So now we've done that, we're going to go and search for an alien and get the alien head, which we've done with a few other characters of the Sonic franchise, where we will be using it to make the bit that goes from his forehead down to his nose, and just to extend it, as you can see me doing right here. So once we've got it in place, and I'm pretty happy with that, we just need to try and match the blue, which is more difficult than I thought it would be, in all honesty, because for some reason there's so many different versions of blue. Trying to get it spot on was actually quite difficult. So the easy part at this point is to, paint the hands white because they need to be gloves, and then we're going to start with the scaling of the head scale and obviously the upper body width to try and make our Sonic. So I don't know if you want to go a little bit in front of the video and then just pause it, or if you want to try and follow along after slowing it down, but we're at the upper height at this point, and I always go down section by section because it's easier to follow, and instead of going catastrophically back and forth between them. And then now we're moving to the lower body width, and again it's going to be quite thin. One thing I wish I did here, which I didn't do, is to make the legs a little bit thinner. Because his arms and legs are really thin, I might have left them slightly too big, but I'll leave that down to you guys. If you say in the comments if you think they're too wide or they're absolutely perfect, then it's always good to know, because I know how to go forward from there. So now we're on the final step of me trying to level out the legs and realise that I'm failing, so I'm just trying to go back over it very slowly and trying to get the feet height, or the height of the feet, to be pretty much the same as each other, because at the moment they're one's quite big and one's a little bit small. And after a little bit of rejigging, we do get there, and I'm quite happy with that kind of overall outcome. So I think I'm pretty good with that. That's pretty cool. So now we're going to move to the animations, and with the walking, I accidentally chose this one. That's not what you want. You want this one here. And for the running, obviously, you want the iconic arms behind the back Naruto run. There you have it, that is my redo of Sonic compared to my first one, which wasn't the best. I'm quite pleased with this. If you like it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!